My name is Mario Smith. I am the CEO of TRU PREP Academy. TRU PREP Academy is a K-12, now co-ed school for men and women that want to educate themselves in the field of education, but also be able to learn other things outside, like real world things, from financial literacy to credit on to plumbing and just vocational jobs as well that they can jump into right after. Well, I tell you what, I'm from a family of educators. My mother worked in the Dade County Public School system for 30 plus years. And then when I had come back from school, I wanted to get into coaching, and it led me down the teaching educational path. And from there I had the ability to work in the school for 13 some odd years. Just having in the background that I wanted to start a school. And I took that information as, well, let me get a start in learning how everything works. In 2015, I resigned from my job, and it took me 3 years before we actually got started, because we were looking for a place, and we started here, which is now a 7,000 square foot building looking to advance out. I think even in the private sector, it gives you a lot more ability to teach as you may. Not being connected to the public schools. I tell you what, the limitations are. We've been up to 110 kids in this building, and it's been packed from back wall to front wall. Once we saw that, we knew it was time for us to start looking for a place in order to get to the next level. With that being said, it just allows us to move at another level. The next space that we'll be in is 25,000 square feet, which allows us to have about 300 to 400 kids in that school. Not only does it elevate our learning environment, but it also gives us more classes to do a lot of vocational things, from filming, from editing, With that being said, I don't think everything is about a test with a kid, you know what I mean? Some kids are hands-on, where they learn better just utilizing their hands. And there's also a book that says A students will work for C students, and when I read into it, it pretty much made sense, because the C students, they're pretty much go-getters, you know what I mean? Then you have your guys that are strictly bookworms. So I think there needs to be a balance in all of those things in education that allows us to get to the barriers in which we want to conquer. When we first started off, right along the lines of sports, because I grew up playing sports. We got a scholarship to Kansas State University and a football team, and I went to play professionally in the Canadian League. So there was always that sports component behind, which was always the carrot that we dangled for student athletes in order for them to get the books. And just from my understanding, over time period, I saw coaches being like the principals in the school. You know what I mean? They had so much stature in the school that you didn't want to do wrong, because your coach would get on you about it. And just bringing that nature and everything that we learned in the process over, it made me want to start a school and then be able to do it the way that I felt that maybe some of the things that I did wrong during the course of time, or just seeing some things in other schools that we can implement and make a better way of living for our kids.